we are cooking food from Gaza, in particular from this book, which is honestly one of my favorite cookbooks, called The Gaza Kitchen by El-Haddad. She actually lives close. She lives in Maryland, and I'm kind of a fangirl. I follow her on Instagram. You should too. She's Gaza Mom on Instagram. And we are making a couple of different things today. Manaeesh, which is a Palestinian flatbread. We are going to be topping them with zatar and filfil matahoon, mixed with hot peppers and tomato paste. I really want to promote Palestinian voices and cooks and creators from the Gaza Strip in particular right now. So let's get to it. So this recipe calls for a lot of what you would normally expect in a bread recipe. We have flour, we have yeast, we have sugar, because yeast likes to eat sugar. We of course have salts, some fat in this one. In this case we use olive oil, because of course we know in Palestine they grow olives and they make olive oil. But a couple of things that are a little bit different and for very particular reasons. Number one, I believe this is supposed to be a little bit of an enriched dough. It has some extra fat in it. For example, you can just wanted to, an egg, right? So a lot of enriched doughs for like cinnamon buns or things like that use egg and milk and oil and butter. Because milk is of limited means in Gaza in particular, a lot of the recipes in this cookbook call for powdered milk, dry milk. So here I have powdered milk as well. Now, I'm going to tell you, this is not my cuisine. I'm not familiar with this necessarily, so I am doing this for the first time along with you. So if this is your first experience making something from Palestine, from Gaza, from an Arab cookbook, I understand. I am with you, right? But I understand bread. I make bread almost every single day. In fact, I have a sourdough starter here that I keep all the time. And this is a whole wheat bread dough that I put on earlier. So I make bread constantly. That doesn't mean that I'm going to do this 100% perfectly, but I want manaeesh. I love manaeesh. I want to eat manaeesh. I want to eat something with zatar on it. And this delicious red pepper, this chili hot pepper spread. So I'm excited to try to make this. And it seems really simple. Famous last words. Let's get started. Let's ask the Almighty for help in making this dish and hoping that we do our brothers and sisters from Palestine proud in making this. So we're going to start here. I have my yeast, and we're just going to add that. Here's a tablespoon of sugar, and we add that. And then to that, I'm going to add just a little bit of warm water. Here I have 2 cups of warm water. I'm just going to add a little bit of it to my yeast and my sugar. And we're going to stir that around in the bowl of my stand mixer. You can see the little bubbles start to get going in here. So it's a little bit of warm water. So the yeast is like sleeping. They wake up, right? I'm like, oh, it's time to wake up. Oh, we have delicious sugar. And so they're eating the sugar now. They have been fasting. It has been Ramadan for the yeast. Okay, did I go on too long for this? Is it weird that I think of my yeast as people? I don't know. So while that's kind of frothing, it's coming back to life, it's waking up a little bit, I will now, if you don't use like an instant yeast or an active yeast, if you're using some other form of yeast, you will have to do this and let it froth up for about 5 minutes, okay? Here we have 6 cups of all-purpose flour. This also requires some baking powder. Again, not something I necessarily understand. A lot of recipes from our part of the world require both yeast and baking powder. I'm sure there's a reason for it, whatever it is. I don't care. I'm adding it. Add a teaspoon of salt, powdered milk, And this is whole powdered milk. So it's not skimmed, it's a whole milk, powdered milk. 1 egg. And the cookbook says this is optional. And then this is 3/4 of a cup of olive oil. So it's a heavy amount of olive oil. I'm okay with that. Now what I'm going to do is I'm going to start this, and then I'm going to start to add the oil, because the recipe has told me what I need this to look and feel like, so I'll know if I need more than 2 cups of water or less than 2 cups of water. Now I'm going to add my water slowly. So that's about 1 cup. And I won't add the rest until it comes together and I can see what I need. And that's exactly 2 cups of water. I had filled it up much further up. So that's 2 cups of water that I've added, and I think it's going to be perfect. You want the dough to be elastic but not sticky, and you can see this dough is not yet elastic, but it is not sticky. So we're going to keep it going. So I let that knead on a medium speed. Ooh, that rhymes. I let it knead on a medium speed. Let it knead on a medium speed for about 4 minutes. It's a very soft, very beautiful and pliable dough. The only difference between this and like a cinnamon bun dough is that it doesn't have sugar. But you can see it's just like a really lovely, I mean, I love an enriched dough. We're gonna put it back and cover it with this plate that fits perfectly over it, and let it sit for about 1.5 hours or until it doubles in size. And in the meantime, we're gonna make our toppings. We're gonna make our red pepper paste and our za'atar paste. We're gonna make 2 toppings. One is called it's weird because it's called a hot tomato and pepper paste. Filfil matoon is the actual name of the recipe we're gonna make right now. And it literally translates to crushed pepper, all right? So here I had 1 pound of these little tiny hot peppers, and I have been picking the stems off of them. A lot of people have asked where I get this bowl from. You can see it is a traditional Palestinian design. I actually purchased this about 20 years ago in Turkey on my honeymoon. But you can buy these, currently you can buy them online. You could not buy things online on Etsy back then, but now you can. So it's a very traditional Palestinian design. And so you stand here and take all of the stems off. I don't know if you noticed my sweatshirt, Stop the Genocide. We know where there are many genocides happening, unfortunately, in the world. This one was in particular for the pro-Palestinian protests. And then I got these earrings. My darling Safia went to Palestine and went to a refugee camp, which had the privilege of being the most tear-gassed refugee camp in the world. But they make beautiful things from the empty gas canisters. So here I have a mortar and pestle that I got in Mexico City. We're gonna use these, but the first thing I'm gonna do, and I'm just gonna be completely honest with you, I tried to just do the mortar and pestle thing, it didn't really work. We're gonna cut these up. I'm gonna give these a rough chop. Now, if you wanna use gloves for this part, I suggest that you do, because you should not rub your face or go to the bathroom after you've done this without washing your hands thoroughly. You will regret it. All right, so I chopped these up, and now we're gonna try this. We're gonna put some of this into our mortar and pestle, and we're gonna mush it up. In the book, it talks about how you don't want to crush the actual seeds because it will create bitterness. And so these are things that, I wouldn't necessarily know because this isn't, my cuisine, but you learn from the people who know best, right? If a Palestinian woman says don't crush, you try not to crush. And the mortar and pestle is the best way to make sure that that doesn't happen, because you don't have any blades. So I actually only did about half of this because honestly, it's very time consuming. It's very difficult. It's probably much easier in a food processor, but I didn't want to risk any of that bitter taste. So this is about half, and it's enough for us to make our manaeesh, which is the goal of today's recipe. So to this, and you can see we still have plenty of seeds in there. And these are pretty dry. The next step says to put it in a colander for like 10 minutes to let the water, more of the liquid come out of it. But it's a pretty dry pepper because I did let them kind of sit overnight so that they dried out just a little bit, so there's no liquid left in them. And so the next step in this recipe is to add, in the whole recipe you add 2.5 tablespoons of salt, but since we're only using half, we're gonna add 1.25 tablespoon of salt, a quarter of a cup of olive oil, and we're just gonna, that's for the whole recipe. A quarter of a cup is only 4 tablespoons of olive oil. It's not very much. I don't know that 2 tablespoons is gonna be enough, but we can give it a try. So now what we're gonna do is here I have 1 shallot and 1 small onion chopped up, along with a teaspoon of salt, and this will draw out the liquid in the onion. We're going to add 2 tablespoons of tomato paste. Game changer, folks, when I discovered you could buy tomato paste in a jar. Some black pepper, and then a heaping tablespoon of the chilies here. I'm going to stir all of this around. We'll set this aside and we'll work on our za'atar mix. Here I have some za'atar, and we're going to add it to my bowl. And za'atar is sesame seeds, thyme. Yeah, sesame and thyme. I wonder if a lot of other Western kids love this flavor because it is very powerful. What do you think? It's a pretty strong flavor. This is Safia. You have heard her off camera. And this is Hajra. Bibi Hajra. Oh, we know each other because Safia here was a founding member of the first Political Action Committee for Muslim American Women, which was pretty amazing. Oh. But you were also my little baby sister. Oh. So, oh my God, those peppers are killing me.
So, I met Safia because we both started school together.
That's the lamest part of your existence too, I'm sure.
Oh, it was a transformative and pivotal part of our
I am the Robin to Safia's Batman.
So this is the dough. I actually made it earlier. And what's interesting about the ingredients in this dough, flour, water, salt, yeast. I'm gonna pull this out and then I'm gonna let you guys, you ladies, women, people, humans, feel how beautiful, goblins, feel how beautiful this dough feels. Ooh. It just, I know, right? Like you can see, right? Right? I love an enriched dough. So, yes, go ahead, just touch that. Feel that. Yes, right? The cloud from Gaza, right? Isn't it amazing?
Fly, baby, fly.
I did that yesterday too.
Wow.
Isn't it so beautifully fluffy? Like just an absolutely gorgeous. People have managed to figure out how to sustain themselves, right? Look at that. And we are going to break it into, hold please, let me see how many pieces it makes.
Divide the dough into lemon-sized balls.
Okay, how many lemon-sized balls does it make? Yeah, okay. So the recipe says to break it into lemon-sized balls. Okay, we have a lemon over there.
Okay, this is our reference.
Yeah, this is our reference, okay? So we're gonna break it into lemon-sized balls. I think that's a little small, right?
When life gives you lemons, you make manaeesh.
There you go. Okay, so what we're gonna do is we're gonna take, this is what happens when you have guests on your show. Lemon-sized balls. And she's gonna juggle while we do this, right? So go ahead, here you go. If you need more flour, it's right there, but we can just set them. Now that these are roughly lemon-sized, we have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15 out of that dough. We're just gonna cover this and let it sit for about 20 minutes so that it can relax. And in the meantime, we're gonna get our tandoor, our amazing, I'm not even kidding, this thing is incredible. Roll it with our rolling pin into a circle. Who wants to do this first? Okay, come on. It's not intimidating, right? This is the food that they eat. Everybody eats it, right? This is a very typical traditional food, so it can't be like, oh, super exclusive and only like 5 people know how to make it.
I mean, like, you have to realize we're modern American girls.
Well, what am I?
We've lost that tradition, that inherited knowledge.
Well, no, you have. That's absolutely true, right? So what the whole point of all of this is to get it back, right? To hang on to tradition and culture and where, not just where we came from, but where people came from, because if this goes, then we just become like Americans and we eat like hamburgers and like fried chicken. Well, though Afghans are number 1 in fried chicken. We own all the fried chicken stores in New York City. So let me correct that, okay? Because we can dominate in any field. But what I'm saying is, I agree, and we need to pull back on that and understand that a lot of this stuff that we consider to be, you know, whether like feminine or overly domestic or whatever it is that we don't want is a part of preserving a people.
Definitely not feminine. Definitely it's about sustainability.
Correct.
Right? This is empowering.
Yeah, 100%.
I just want to say though, like that's a skill that I was taught. Like it's not something inherent. It's a very generational, and it's a very like women-led source of knowledge, tradition, like a knowledge tradition, and it's so integral to like what makes a home a home.
So they said that you should put this on a tray and then, but look at that, we did it. So this is the, oh my God, I forgot to poke the holes in the dough. So if we don't poke holes in the dough, it's going to puff up. This tandoor is so amazing. It will create the perfect pita bread every single time. So you've got to poke holes so it doesn't puff up in the oven. So this is a tandoor oven that I was sent from a company called Angar Tandoor. They make commercial tandoor ovens. And I'm going to be completely 100% upfront with you. I thought this was nothing more than a glorified toaster oven. It's light, it's plastic. This thing is it not amazing? It is amazing.
We are witness to it.
It makes perfect bread every single time. You will always get a poofy pita. It's almost a little bit of a concern that this may also turn into a poofy pita. So
It's that good.
it's that good. So I'm trying to make it not turn into a poofy pita. We leave it on here for about a minute, and then we will put it inside and say Bismillah, ladies. Bismillah. Okay, so this is a little bit thicker maybe than some manaeesh that you're used to seeing, and according to the cookbook, the manaeesh in the Gaza Strip is actually thicker than that made throughout the rest of Palestine. So, one for you, one for you. I mean, yeah, look at the bottom of that. Look at that. Look at how beautifully it's cooked on the bottom. So I hope you enjoyed this video. Many thanks to Angar Tandoor for this wonderful tandoori oven. It is fantastic. You should buy one because it is great, okay? And if you like this video, please give it a thumbs up, comment. The algorithm loves it, and don't be a hater. No reason to hate. And subscribe. You're already here, and it's free. And I've been waiting a very long time to eat this. Buy this book. Support the Palestinian cause.